It's Tuesday, December 6th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daly. I'm giggling because this is the sixth time I've started over. Take six. This is it. You know, things keep happening. I keep saying the wrong word. One of the ravens outside my window started cawing really loud, and I had to start over again. Maybe I was saying something wrong. But anyway, this is number six, and hopefully this is the one that we'll take. You know, I don't have notes for this. Usually, all I have written in front of me are scripture verses that I've chosen, or questions that you've asked, and so I try to do it off the top of my head. And I guess maybe there are days when there's not a lot on the top of my head. So let's hope that this gets better. Josh from Twitter says, "What do you think about Christians drinking beer? My church says drinking is wrong, but many of my Christian friends drink beer. I don't get drunk, but I just like the taste." I've heard so many people say that over the years, and I think that's a good point, actually, Josh. This is a decision that all of us have to make, and I had to make it as well. I grew up in a church that believed that drinking beer or any alcohol was a sin, and so was smoking, and for many people, so was playing cards, and so was a lot of things. And times have changed, and I realize that beer in itself isn't a spiritual issue unless you're drinking too much. For me, it was an issue that I had to really process, and I had to do it honestly. I realize that I'm a person of extremes. If I get started with something, it's hard for me to stop. Chocolate is one of those things. But I realize that I'm that way. That's my personality. And I know that if I started drinking beer or any alcohol, I would most likely have a problem with it. And so I don't drink. In fact, to this day, I've never tasted beer. The only time I've had alcohol has been during communion in some churches that use real alcohol around the world. But that's the only time. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Josh says I like the taste. And I can't tell you if I do or not. I just know that there's a lot of other things that I do enjoy. So it hasn't really been an issue for me. But it's one that you have to decide. And Josh, I would ask you not to decide on a religious basis, but more would you decide on a personal basis? What is your personality type? Be honest with yourself. Can you stop with just one? If you have to have many, and if you have to get drunk, then you have a spiritual problem, because the Bible talks about that, and we don't need to get into that. Can I talk about the other end of the spectrum? Here's a letter from Mike from Facebook. He says, "I understand I've been saved because I believe in God and Jesus coming to the world as God and dying for my sins. I want to live a better life and to be a good example. However, I am an alcoholic, and I have other issues that make me feel like a hypocrite. I love God and I love people. I just don't feel I love me, and I'm not where I should be. I'm married, I have two beautiful girls. I want to share God with them, but still struggle with alcohol on a daily basis. Am I a hypocrite?" Mike, yes, you are. And so am I. You know, we all have things in our lives that we wish we could get control of. And can I remind you once again, that's the reason that Jesus died on the cross. Romans 5:8 says, "But God demonstrates his own love for us in this, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." That's how much he loves us. And he knows that there are things that are bigger than we are. Mike, I would tell you that your alcohol is not the biggest problem. It's how you feel about yourself and those around you and God. And I think that your issues are probably more emotional than they are alcoholism. You know, that's true for a whole lot of people. You have to start feeling good about you. So think about that, and you probably know where to start. And for Josh, I would give you 1 Corinthians 6:12. Just because something is technically legal doesn't mean that it's spiritually appropriate. If I went around doing whatever I thought I could get by with, I'd be a slave to my whims. So, Josh, you have a decision to make. Is this the best course for you spiritually? If you can handle it, then it probably won't be a problem. There are a lot of Christians that I know that handle it just fine. How about you? God bless you. Have a great day.